Hey guys, it's Jason, and this is my review for the new Hellraiser film released on Hulu, directed by David Bruckner, the director of The Night House, which is a pretty good horror film. Please watch it if you're a horror fan. It is about a young woman named Riley who has to go against the cenobites that took her brother after she finds the Lamin configuration puzzle box, a box that releases cenobites after you get a cut from turning it. The original Hellraiser film is pretty gruesome and bloody. I mean, it's still a good movie, it has really good practical effects, even by today's standards, but in regards to the other classic horror franchises like Hellraiser, Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street, and Scream, I think I would rather watch Scream over Hellraiser because Scream is a little more easier to watch compared to Hellraiser. Now again, it has some really good practical effects and a great score by Christopher Young, and I do recommend watching it if you're a horror fan, and as a fan of, well, torture porn if you are a fan of that, because that's really what Hellraiser is. Now, I haven't watched any of its sequels, and I don't have anything to say about them, and really, after seeing the first film and what people have been saying about those sequels, I find it best not to watch them. I was, however, curious about watching this film because I did enjoy the director's previous film, The Night House, and Clive Barker, the director of the original Hellraiser film, came back as a producer for this film, so this film was showing some promise when it was coming on Hulu. First off, the practical effects in this movie are one of the best parts in the film. Like, they're very bloody with the cenobites using their powers to do terrible things on certain characters in the film. Like, if you're a fan of the first Hellraiser film for having that kind of stuff, then you're gonna love this film for having that as well. The makeup is also one of the highlights of the film, with the pins on Pinhead, the Deeper, the Ass Sphinx, I don't know if I get that name right, and the Teeth Chatterer, which, by the way, that one is the most terrifying one in this franchise that I have seen so far. All of the cenobites in this film look terrifying. The deaths in this film are... oh man, they are pretty bloody and very disturbing. Like one scene involving a metal nail that I thought was pretty hard to watch. And you might want to have a palate cleanser after this because, man, there is a lot of blood and skin. And more blood and skin being torn apart. The acting in this film is strong. I actually liked Jamie Clayton as the new Pinhead, or the priest as she's called on IMDb. I thought she was very terrifying with how she looks with the makeup, and the way she speaks with the voice effects they added to her audio made her sound creepy and ominous. This has a very 80s style, like it's almost trying to pay homage to the original Hellraiser, but not the kind where it feels like it's copying off of it, but also like trying to have the same feel as the first film while also having its own thing. Now, this isn't a great film. I do have some issues with it, and one of them is that the characters in this film are kind of unlikable. Like, you really don't root for most of the characters throughout the film. Like, the main character, Riley, in the film, the actress that played her still did a pretty good job. It's just that her character is kind of a mess. Like, she's dating this guy, Trevor, played by Starsky, who's kind of a bad influence on her. Like, she doesn't have a job or a lot of money or an apartment. She has to live with her brother for a while until she gets back on her feet, but she does kind of make some unnecessary stuff where she has to get Trevor's help with the situation that she is in, and it kind of makes it a little hard for me to root for her, unfortunately. The rest of the characters also, I think, should have had some more development. Like, the only ones that do help Riley with her situation are Trevor, her brother, and some other characters in the film that really don't have that much development. Like, some of them are really just there to become targets for the cenobites. The first half of the film can drag, like after she finds out about what this puzzle box can do and what the cenobites are, she ends up looking for stuff about it online, and she goes to this hospital to talk to this person that knows about the cenobites and the puzzle box. It really just felt like exposition that I get some of it needed to be in there for plot's sake, but I would have like maybe gone with some other stuff for her to figure out how this puzzle box works. Now the second half of the film, that's when it gets better, when we get all of the information we needed to know about the box and the cenobites, with the characters being stuck in one location that makes it worth the wait. Another issue is that there's a character that appears in the beginning of the film and you don't see him again until later in the film, and what happens to this character is that you really don't feel that much sympathy about him because you really don't know who he is as a character. Like, you get little tastes of what he's like throughout the film and what he is as a character, but you really don't feel much of what he's going through after he comes back into the film. Like, I would have liked to have seen this character, like, given more sympathy whenever he's on screen. Hellraiser 2022 is not a great film. Like, the story can drag in some scenes, the characters are mostly unlikable, and some of them don't get as much development as they should have gotten, but it has some really good makeup, great practical effects, good acting, and blood and gore, and it's very faithful to the original Hellraiser film. If you're a fan of the original Hellraiser film, definitely check it out. Don't expect it to be an amazing film, at least give it a chance. It might impress you when you watch it. However, if you hated the first Hellraiser film and you're a little squeamish about blood and gore, then don't watch this movie because it has a lot of that. I'm gonna give Hellraiser 2022 a B-. So guys, if you have seen the new Hellraiser film, what did you think about it? Did you think it's as good as the original Hellraiser film, or did you think this one dropped the ball? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, if you like this review, please leave a like and subscribe to my channel, or I'll tear your soul apart. No, I'm just kidding with that line. But seriously, if you like this review, please leave a like and subscribe and comment to my channel so you don't miss a thing. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram so you also don't miss a thing there. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.